Well, good morning, guys, or good afternoon, whatever time it might be when you're watching this video. This segment is all about home inspections, and I got my good friend, my good colleague, John here from Southern Roots. You're talking to the big dog. He's the owner, and he does a fantastic job for all of my clients who are looking for a home. And if you've researched and looked at that article that I provided, then you kind of have a little bit of an idea of what to expect during a home inspection process. So one of the things that I thought we should be able to do is talk with John a little bit about what, from his perspective, if it was his little sister or big brother looking to purchase a home, what type of advice would he give to them before they begin that home buying journey? And then we're gonna roll into like, okay, so we're at a house, you're thinking about making a purchase. Here's the quick things that I would look at before you actually submit that offer, because for John and home inspections, that's really done once you get under contract. And so one other thing I want to make sure to encourage with you is that in the article, you have his contact information. And his number and everything. So, you don't have to be under contract with something to give him a call, to ask for advice, any suggestions, or any things that you might be looking for guidance. He's more than happy to take the time to discuss with you and walk you through that. So if you have something that's nagging on the back of your mind that you don't have an answer to, feel free to call John. Of course, Danny and I, we're here as well. You can always call us, but if it's home inspection related, get it from the master himself. So John, what would you say the top 3 things, like if I was your little brother about to make my journey on purchasing a home, what would be the 3 things you say, look, when you go look at homes, look at these things, or be cognizant of these things? What would you say?
Absolutely. Well, hey everybody, I am John Richardson. I'm the owner and operator of Southern Roots Home Inspection, so I'll be here to answer all your questions now and later. The top 3 things that I would look for if me or my little brother or sister was going to look at a home. When you go do the walkthrough with your realtor, whenever you pull up at the street, first thing I would do, depending on the weather, look at the roof. I don't mean get on the roof, just take a quick peek at it, see the granule wall, see if it has any missing broken shingles, see the repairs on the roof. If the roof's got a lot of repairs and a lot of patches, chances are it's going to be at the end of its life, and you're going to be looking at that as a possible negotiation factor later on, whether that be something to discuss with your realtor or just possibly walking away from it, depending on your circumstances. So always look at that roof, because that's going to be the first thing that's going to stand out to you from the street. Second thing, when you're walking around the outside of the house with your realtor, you're looking at the landscaping, you're looking at the pool, you're looking at the garage. Look at the exterior of it. Does it have wood siding? Is it deteriorated? Is it falling down? Is it mismatched paint? If it's brick, look at the settlement cracks on it. All brick's gonna have settlement cracks on it, especially older homes, especially here in Southeast Texas, that's normal. Look for those jagged stair-stepper cracks that go diagonal from windows and doors. If you can fit your hand in them, chances are it's probably got foundation issues or it's had foundation work done. So that's gonna be something that you're really gonna need to focus on. The third thing, and I know it seems like a small thing though, when you go inside the house, look underneath the sinks. Look for what type of water piping materials that it has. If it's copper or PEX, if it's a newer home, that's a good thing. If it's galvanized, that's gonna be something that you're gonna need to look into, especially with your realtor. Repipes can get very expensive depending on what contractors you go with, but galvanized pipe has a service life of right around 40 years.
Yeah,
and all of these homes with galvanized pipes are kind of right at that 40 to 50 year age mark. So that's going to be a big thing for them to look at.
And to kind of piggyback off that just a little bit, because I know in my home, unfortunately, I do have a 82 built home with galvanized piping, but all the easy access piping has been converted to the plastic aspect of it, so that's actually okay. but the only way that I would know if it's galvanized is if I went into the attic. And so when you are touring homes and you find that you're really gravitating to one home and you really like it, it's okay to go check out the attic. And you can look at what's running down on the floor and all that to get a sense of what is it behind the walls, because obviously we can't look behind the walls. But if it's unsure and if it's in that age group, if you hire me to help, we will definitely run that to ground to make sure. Man, that was really great. So you don't recommend getting on any roofs then?
No, I do not recommend climbing on the roofs. Unless you're a roofing contractor, let me do that.
And I would probably say probably not without the owner's permission too. But that's really fun.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the next little area that we're going to kind of go into is, okay, so you are you're touring the home, you're thinking about making an offer on a home. If you hadn't done X, Y, Z, what would you recommend that we make sure that we actually do before we write the offer? And just that John knows this because he and I worked together before, but a lot of agents helping their buyers, what they like to do is use the inspection report for further negotiations. I'm not one of those guys because honestly, I don't know at what price point we got the home for as it relates to what the seller wants to net. And at the beginning of my career, sometimes we couldn't come to terms on stuff because he just couldn't afford to sell the house to my client with what we negotiated on and with what we found. And so I always like to negotiate these things on the front end without you spending any money. It protects your pocketbook, it protects your time, and in this way we're able to basically get an idea is after our inspection, if these things come to light, if we are correct, that we know that we can negotiate those things. Does that make sense? We can go over that a little bit later. So John is aware of that. I just want to make sure that you're aware. Now, we discussed that in one of the other earlier videos. I think it's the making an offer video that I discussed this in. But John is going to kind of help us with, okay, we're really serious about making an offer. We might go back to see the house again. What type of things we really want to dig into to make sure that could be high dollar expenses and stuff like that. And it can be any number of things or small things.
Sure. Well, if you do go back and you've already looked at those things that we talked about in the first go around, look at the air conditioning system on the outside. They have a data plate. What I recommend doing just for time purposes is taking a picture of the data plate on that air conditioner or air conditioners if it has multiple systems. You can always research later. You can find what refrigerant it uses. Is it outdated? Is it the current refrigerant? What size it is, if it's sized properly, and the age of it. Second thing, like Len said earlier, go up in the attic on the second time if you didn't go up on the first one. Check to see what insulation it has. Is it outdated? Is it new? Is it adequate? Is it inadequate? Is that something that you're going to have to look at later? And the third thing that I would check is the electrical panel. Don't take the panel cover off. Just open it up, look at it. Is it 40 years old? Is it updated? Is it new? Does it have a lot of mismatched circuit breakers indicating that they possibly had a lot of electrical issues in the past? And that's going to be something that you're gonna have to look at.
And the name of the company, I know it, but I want John to say it. For the electrical panel, whenever I see this electrical panel in our area, I automatically put it on the table for discussion for seller to replace. The name of that company
is Federal Pacific. If you ever see an electrical panel, and it could even be a sub panel, it'll have FPE for Federal Pacific Electrical stamped on the outside of the panel. You can see it. And if it's not stamped on the panel, there are some older panels that don't have FPE stamped on them. If you just open that cover and those breakers are orange, normally that's a pretty good indicator that that's going to be a Federal Pacific panel, and that's going to be an issue that you're going to need to address.
And just to go into a little bit more detail, the reason why it's an issue is that it's been that company has been found, or that panel box has been found to have more fires associated with that system than a lot of the other systems. So now that a lot of these homes have had it in there for 40 plus years, at least in our area, we just don't want to take any risks with that. And if the listing agent is worth their salt or done their due diligence, they've been doing this a while, they're also aware and probably have already discussed this with the sellers. I guess this last question that I have for John is just more along the lines of a free form. There's homes that you go into, as you know, showing my clients, and you can walk in and you can tell that this guy or this family, this lady is like on top of everything. Everything is just pristine. Everything is in its place. Everything is just crisp, clean. You open up one of the kitchen drawers, you see all the documents of the home, all the manufacturer warranties, you see all those things. And then on the other side, you go into some homes and it's like a hoarder lived there, and there's boxes everywhere, and there's these things, you know, maybe discussing just any and everything that you can think of that might be just useful to share, tips, tricks, whatever.
Well, the first thing that I look at when I go into an occupied home, believe it or not, is the air filters. If they've been changing the air filters and the air filters are somewhat clean, that means they're on top of things. Because that's one of those things that we kind of put at the back of our mind, you know, until the air conditioner stops working or the HVAC technician comes out and says, hey, your filters are clogged. That's why
I am not guilty at all of this.
Well, we all forget from time to time, but you can always tell if I pull the filter off and it says, you know, 2019 manufacture date, normally a pretty good indication that system hasn't been serviced, those filters haven't been changed, and you're going to be looking at some maintenance, some deferred maintenance issues with that system. The second thing is cleanliness. And I know this sounds ridiculous because, I mean, obviously those of us that are busy, have kids, our houses aren't pristine, and that's okay. But when they know that there's a showing or there's an inspection, that house needs to be ready. If there's dishes in the sink, if there's dirty clothes all over the floor, if there's 4 dogs running around, normally that's a pretty good indication there's been a lot of deferred maintenance. And just like buying a house, just like buying a car, whatever you buy, it's your issue after you sign on the dotted line. So we want to make sure that we get all that noted, at least mentally, before.
And you know, that makes a really good point. When you're going through the process of putting your home on the market, you're going to be going and, for the most part, put your best foot forward, right? And one of the things that you'd think that they would change out is the AC filters. And you know, if you've gone to a home and it's been on the market for over 30 days, like a lot of folks buy those little thin ones. I know I do. Now, other folks do buy those thicker ones, but the majority of them are those kind of thin ones, and they need to be replaced every 30 days, right? And so if the home's been on the market for over 30 days, that would be a really good kind of clue. I really like that advice. That's awesome, man. What else do you have? Do you have anything else that we might want to?
Those are the main issues that I look for.
Okay, great. So this kind of wraps up the home inspection aspect of it. The main thing that I just would like to share is that it's okay to ask questions. It is okay to raise your hand. It is okay to talk with those that you know, like, and trust, your family members, people you go to church with, co-workers. Feel free to ask them and get with them to find out what they went through, what their experiences are. You know, take them out for a coffee, ask all those questions. And again, you know, always feel free to reach out to your trusted real estate advisor as well. And I didn't do a really good job at explaining this in some of the other videos with Danny, but I do want to make sure that you are aware that should you decide to use our services, we're going to help you with finding that right first-time home buyer program for you, and we fully intend to even help you with closing costs or even help you buy down your rate. That is a gift from me, and that would be a gift from Danny as well. In the articles, we have the dollar amount of $2,000. Should you like to use our services, that is something that we will do, obviously, you know, just to kind of help and give back into the community. But if you have questions, feel free to reach out and ask. And just because you ask us does not mean you have to use our services to help you purchase a home. I know that sounds weird. Why would I be doing this, asking you to give me a call if I don't want you to use our services? Well, the point is that I do, but I want to earn them. I want to earn your business. And the best way for me to earn that business is for you to give me a call and give me an opportunity to shine and help you feel comfortable using me, Danny, John, to help you through your process, right? And so when you call, I get excited because now it means I have an opportunity to win and earn your business. And that's why I say, please feel free to do so. Other than that, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. If you know somebody that would benefit from this video series that we put together, feel free to share. Happy for you to do so. Leave any comments, support it. Greatly appreciate that as well. Other than that, God bless you and your family. Have a fantastic day. We want to sign it off.
Hey everybody, and like I said, like Len said earlier, if you need anything, whether I'm doing the inspection or not, feel free to reach out to me. You can go to my website at southernrootshomeinspections.com. You can reach out to me at 832-210-5965. You can text me or you can email me. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
That's awesome. All right, guys. God bless and have a fantastic day. Thank you.
Thank you.